Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today I'm going to be talking about my Instagram picture setup. You guys really loved my first installment to the Instagram Insights series, where I taught you guys how I edit my Instagram photos. So I thought it would be time to let you guys know a little bit about the behind the scenes and what I actually use to take my Instagram photos. I'm going to talk about the lighting, the camera I use, and the backdrops. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about how I started and worked my way up to getting a little bit more of a professional setup. I did not start out this way, but you know, you just gotta slowly build your way up over time. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about my actual setup for taking my Instagram photos, then please keep watching. I know, along with the question of what do you use to edit your Instagram photos, I often get the question of what do you use to take your Instagram photos. I'm using the Canon Rebel T3i, and I love this camera. It gives me really high quality images that I'm really looking for. Any DSLR camera will give you the really high quality look that you want to your photos. I'll link the one that I have right here and have it linked down below if you're interested. I remember saving up for my camera for a long time before actually being able to splurge on it. I was smart when shopping for it. I tried to get the best deal I possibly could, and I would definitely recommend waiting until there's a sale or you could have some sort of coupon or something to put towards your camera, because they are really expensive. They are a couple $100s, so you definitely do not have to splurge on them right away. But it is definitely a good thing to have when you are starting out Instagram, but if you do not have the opportunity to get that right away, then there are other options as well. Basically, the back camera of your iPhone is just really good quality in general. You can get really high definition photos. Most people nowadays have an iPhone, and if you do not have that opportunity, then maybe try to get a cheaper DSLR camera if you can. I know the Sony ones are pretty good. They're a little bit cheaper than the big DSLR cameras like the Canon ones, but they are a little bit cheaper and they will still give you that high definition quality that you're looking for. So definitely, if you can, start out with just using your iPhone if you do have one, or try to just start right now saving up for a decent camera. You don't have to go all out and spend thousands of dollars. You can find them pretty cheap. My T3i is pretty old now because they are out with like this T7i or the T6i now. I'm not sure which one. You can find them reasonably priced if you just keep your eye out and look for the deals. So I definitely recommend doing that. And yeah, just kind of use what you have on hand. If you have an iPhone, great. If you don't, then save up the best to your ability, or ask for a birthday or a holiday, you know, whatever works for you. So the best camera quality you can get is the most beneficial to you, but start out slow. You do not need to stress yourself into buying something super fancy. Just kind of work with what you have, or save up to getting something that you can use. So the next important aspect to talk about when talking about my setup for Instagram photos is the lighting. So what I first started out with for my first item of artificial lighting was a ring light. It's the New brand. I'm probably not saying that right. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. It's a ring light, okay? It's a ring light. But this ring light has helped me so much in amplifying the look of my makeup. It makes it so much more visible when I take photos. So definitely, if you can save up, definitely get a ring light. So I used the ring light for a long time just by itself. I didn't have any other lighting. It was just the ring light for the longest time. But eventually, now that I'm filming videos, I decided to incorporate softbox lighting, and that's what I have on either side of me right now. They're just two big softbox lights that kind of give me some fill on the sides of my face to kind of amplify my highlights and just give me lighting all around me. So I have my ring light in front of me lighting this part of my face, and then I have my soft boxes on the sides of me giving some light to these sides of my face, so that all of my makeup look is illuminated and you can see every detail and every aspect of it. So the more lighting that you have, the more visible your makeup's going to be, and the more the detail is going to stick out. Now, not only do I use these lights in front of me, I also have a light behind me. As you can see, I have this little halo effect behind me, and I get so many questions about it. It's not a green screen. If you can see that, I just have this little light bulb right here, and I believe the brand of that is New as well. I'll have all of my equipment that I use, everything from my camera to my lighting to everything that I've mentioned in this video, linked down below, so you guys will know what I use. I just like the look of having the little halo effect behind you in your photos. I think that it's a nice touch. So here is how my video would look without the light behind me. I mean, it's still fine. I still have a really nice backdrop behind me, and I'm still lit all from the front, but I find that having this light behind me all around just gives more dimension to the photos, and I don't know, it just adds a little bit of something extra to the photo. I don't know, it's just personal preference. So basically the light that's behind me is just a standard light bulb. It had like a little cover over top of it, but I just took that off and I just used the regular light bulb on a stand. I'm sure you can get them from Home Depot. Any sort of hardware store would probably have just a standard light bulb on a stand that you could buy. You do not have to go out and buy a fancy New Year one. New Year. So that's basically what I use. This is the setup that I have when I take my photos as well as when I film my videos. I just keep it set up like this at all times. The better your lighting is, the more the details and the colors in your eyeshadow and your whole makeup look is going to show up. If you're taking photos in a really dark room, you're not going to be able to see the details and all the work that you put into your makeup look. So it's definitely important to have some sort of lighting that you can use to take your Instagram photos. Now the first option is outdoor lighting. Now I know a lot of people do this, they go outside and they take their Instagram photos, and the lighting, I mean, you can't beat the sun. So either go outside and take your Instagram photos, go to a nice well-lit window and take your Instagram photos. It's free. Everyone has the accessibility to daylight, so definitely take advantage of it. If you're just starting out, you do not have to go out and buy any lighting at all if you're just using natural lighting, so definitely take advantage of that when you're first starting out, just to get some photos up on your Instagram and just get started. Now the downside to outdoor lighting is that your makeup has to be done during the day, and I know for me, I'm more creative at night, so you're kind of on a time crunch if you're going to be taking pictures outside, and if the weather sucks, then you don't have good lighting, you know, all that stuff kind of comes into play when you're relying on natural lighting. So I definitely recommend, if you can, to get a good sense of artificial lighting. So I know I get a lot of questions about what I use for my lighting, so I hope that this helped you guys a little bit to know. We don't all have money just lying around to spend on lights, so I definitely get that, and just work your way up slowly. Don't feel pressured to buy a full fancy setup right away. You do not need that at all. Just start with what you have and work your way up. So the next thing that I want to talk about in this video is my backdrop for my photos. Now what I use is not a green screen. I actually use fabric for my backgrounds. And I'll show you a little clip right now of what my backdrop actually looks like. It's a backdrop stand that I got from Amazon. It was decently affordable. Again, I'll have it linked down below. And I just have these clips all around the perimeter of the fabric to hold it taut, so it is stretched out and there's no wrinkles in it. But yeah, I basically just use fabric. I go to the fabric store. I have a Joann's and a Michael's that are not far from me, which are just fabric stores. You can use any fabric that you have access to. I usually get the clearance fabric, so I never spend full price. And I noticed when I was starting out my videos and I wanted to get a backdrop for my photos, that a lot of people didn't tell you what type of fabric they were using. They would just say, oh, I use fabric. Well, what material? That was always the question that I had. So I'm going to tell you guys what fabric and what specifically the type of fabric that I use. So these are basically all of my fabrics, along with the blue one behind me. The blue one behind me, it's kind of like a spandexy material, but it's really opaque. So definitely something stretchy is really good because you can stretch it out and get out any wrinkles that are in it. Now what I also have is a sequins one. These are kind of cool to have, you know, just mix it up and make it look a little bit more sparkly if you're into that. Other fabrics like this purple one and this yellow one aren't very stretchy, but they're very opaque. Basically, you just want fabric that's pretty opaque. You can't see through it because then you're going to be exposed and everyone's going to see everything in your background. I mean, you don't have to have a plain color. You could do whatever you want. You could do polka dots, whatever you want, you know. But I just prefer plain colors or the sequins one sometimes if I'm feeling fancy. Definitely go for something stretchy if you have the opportunity to. Go in the clearance and get something that you could stretch out to get the wrinkles out of, or something that's just opaque in general, like my yellow and my purple one. I'll just throw them in the dryer real quick and it gets out all the wrinkles. So if you just leave them in the dryer for like 5 to 10 minutes, that's a little tip. Just throw them in the dryer real quick if you need to get wrinkles out of your backdrop. So yeah, that's basically what I use for my backdrop. I did not always have this setup. As you guys know, this is a relatively new setup for me. For the longest time, I lived in a different house, and I would just use the back of my bathroom door as my background. It was just a white door. You could see in some of my old photos. I'll have pictures here to show you guys what I'm talking about. But I just used a plain white door for my background. So I find that it's best if you do not have the ability to go out and buy fabric or a fancy backdrop stand and all that stuff. You could just use the back of your door like I did for the longest time. You could use your bedroom bedroom wall if it's a plain color. You could just use your bedroom as a backdrop if it's relatively clean. You can honestly just use virtually anything for your backdrop, but I definitely recommend having something clean and neat behind you. I know brands really like to just have a really plain background that's really just neat looking, and all the focus in the photo is really just about your makeup, so that's why it's really important to just have kind of a plain background. So like I've been saying throughout this whole video, just kind of work with what you have and slowly work your way up. Do not feel pressured to go out and buy super fancy equipment. I didn't have super fancy equipment for the longest time. I just kind of worked with what I had and slowly worked my way up to more professional equipment. So I really hope that this helped you guys out and answered some of your questions about my personal setup for taking my Instagram photos. More of these videos will be coming, but let me know what other videos you guys want to see down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell notification down there right next to the subscribe button if you want to be notified right when I upload. That is everything for me today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys!